Their Wings by Castel. Chapter 1. Sweet Mother. You'd have never thought you would have wanted to survive this much after you fell down into this hellhole, this action born from a desire to die. And now, here you were, holding tight onto a kind-hearted flower who was supporting you in your struggle to survive. Your body hurt all over as you covered its little trembling head. Both of you were running from a monster twice as big as you. It seemed to be a goat monster of some kind, a female one considering how she expressed herself.
"Come back here!"
She yelled after you, her voice echoing down the halls. Your clothes were burnt, some parts of your body as well. You were panting and running, barely hearing your little flower friends screaming under your chin. They were gripping tight on your throat as they shrilly alternated between swears, cries of fear, prayers for help, but most frequently repeating, "We're gonna die!" in a terror-filled voice. "Watch out!" the flower managed to screech before it hit again in the crook of your neck. You had just the time to notice the walls of the corridor lighten up in an orange taint when you suddenly felt the fire consuming you from behind. Both of your agonizing screams filled this dark hallway until there was nothing left of your bodies. You opened wide your eyes, gasping for air as your hands clenched against your chest. You could feel the fire consuming you, yet you didn't have any trace of the previous attacks from the goat monster over your body. Your friend was in a pot next to your bed, startled by your muffled cries. They called out your name with worry in their voice, growing louder until you suddenly stopped crying as the burning pain finally disappeared. Your eyes, drowned in water, turned towards them. "Flowey?" you managed to pronounce in a trembling breath before you turned your body fully towards your companion and took them in your arms. You whimpered some more against their petals. Slowly you felt their plant leaves covering your cheeks, wiping hot tears away. "We didn't make it, did we?" Flowey softly asked. Your silence made it perfectly clear. "I'm so sorry," you whispered, your voice shaking from the urge to cry again as you remembered the violence of your deaths. You managed to swallow back the sobs, and although your smile quivered, you reassured them. "Don't you worry, though. We'll get out of here. You can be sure of it." Flowey's smile slowly started to form when you both flinched as you heard something knocking on the door. No doubt, it was the goat monster again.
"My child, are you okay? I heard you crying. Is everything all right?"
Yes, she was absolutely sweet for a monster. Her name was Toriel, and she was a lovely mother, until you'd go and ask her for the exit of the ruins. She was its caretaker, just as much as the guardian of that gate of some sort. You had to get through her house to get its access, but every time you would take the staircase to reach it, she would try to stop you by killing you. So together with Flowey, you made a plan to escape. You thought it would be a good idea, waiting until she'd fall asleep so you'd be able to sneak away. You loved her, that was for sure. You didn't remember having such sweet attention from anyone in your human life, if you had any memory of that. But on the other hand, you were really scared of her from the moment you realized how dangerous she was. You were scared that any little mistake would turn her into this berserk creature you faced multiple times already. Wiping away the last tracks of tears from your face, you replied with a voice that wanted to be reassuring. Yes, I just had a nightmare." This startled her so much she opened the door to peek in. The light of the corridor made its way into the room, allowing her to see what was going on inside before she entered. Her face was marked with worry. "My poor, sweet child. Do you want to talk about it?" You stared at her with your fully opened eyes, sniffling a little. She came to sit on the side of your bed, resting one of her hands on her knee while the other would caress your face, moving away a lock of your hair from your wet cheek. You remained silent for a while, not wanting to encourage her into further conversation or anything as you were patting Flowey's head. Your friend was silent, watching both of you with their worried eyes. Thinking of it, you didn't know Flowey's identity. You were told they were a flower and that rest didn't matter, so you complied, but still worried to make them uncomfortable, you stuck to the neutral terms. You shook your head silently to answer her question. "Do you want to sleep with me?" she softly asked again. You waited for a few seconds before you shyly asked, Can you sing a lullaby for me, please?" At first, she was surprised, but then she smiled. Well, you weren't so young anymore to ask for such a thing or to sleep with your mother when you had a nightmare, but you thought it would be nice, and developing your relationship with her, maybe this time this would save you from the future fight you'll have with her. And so you laid down in your bed, Flowey next to you. "Oh, it has been so long since I sang something," she softly giggled, before she thought for a little while, as if trying to remember a song. And then she started humming a soft melody as she was tucking you in this bed. Ah, her voice really was something. You couldn't help but smile as she laid a kiss on your forehead. Then she left the room after she whispered a soft, "Good night, my child." Then she closed the door, leaving your room plunged into darkness again. Flowey was silently resting their head against your chest to listen to your heartbeats. "Tonight?" they asked in a whisper. The flower felt you nodding before you laid a hand on its soft golden petals and a pet. "Tonight," you repeated, in a tone as low as your friend.